Hello, my name's Luke Sutton and welcome to my walkthrough on Real Myst Masterpiece edition released in 2014. I'll let you listen to the intro as it's very important to the story.
The moment I fell into the fissure, the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but I must admit that such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my Myst book are unsettling to me. I know my apprehensions might never be allayed, and so I close, realizing that perhaps the ending is not yet.
Okay, so basically in a nutshell, that was a guy called Atris speaking, and he says that he basically jumps into a star fissure, and as he jumps in he takes out what is known as the Myst linking book, and then he places his hand on a linking panel. Now every linking book has a linking panel which displays a location, and when you touch that linking panel you automatically get teleported to that destination. And so he was teleported to Myst Island, but the book continued to fall through the star fissure, and eventually when you play Uru online you find out that the other end of that star fissure ends up on Earth, and this is where you get your hands on it and you open up the book and you also place your hand on the linking panel and you get transported there, and that's what we're about to do now. So the whole point of this walkthrough is for those that have played it before, hopefully we'll go through a bit more story detail on a couple of things you may have missed. So the first thing you're able to do is decide what control method you want, whether you want the original point and click, which was released in 1993, or the free roam 3D version, which was released in the Real Myst version in 2000 and in 2014. And we'll pick that one because it gives us a bit more ability to explore the place. And as you can see, it's been completely updated and everything looks fantastic, but my only gripes is that it's a bit choppy in the controls, so hopefully I'll try and be as steady as possible not to cause motion sickness. Now if you've never played this game before, it was released in 1993 and it was the best-selling PC game till 2001 when it was taken over by The Sims, so it is worth a look. Now this is where the game actually begins. So you're given this message: Catherine, I've left for you a message of utmost importance in a 4-chamber beside the dock. Enter the number of marker switches on this island into the imager to retrieve the message. Yours, Atris. So already we can see Catherine and Atris are linked somehow, and later you'll find that they're husband and wife and that they have 2 kids. So this is the marker switch, what's referred. I'm going to cut a corner by turning them all on as I go around and count them. So just a bit of background on Myst Island itself. Myst Island was in tribute to a Jules Verne novel, Mysterious Island, so that's how it got its name. And the island was actually created by Catherine and Tiana, the grandmother, as a safe haven for Atris and Catherine to live on, away from an enemy. And this is how Atris gets here. He jumps through the star fissure to get away from this enemy, and he comes here. And as he comes here, he also uses the time on this island to create literally hundreds of linking books. Now, what is a linking book? Well, there's such a thing called an art where what they do is they create a descriptive book. Now there's a difference between a descriptive book and a linking book. Now you'll notice there's a marker switch over here as well. I can't get to it unless if I solve this puzzle, which you wouldn't be able to do if you first started the game. But so we'll do it in order. So there's a big difference between a descriptive book and a linking book. A descriptive book is what they use to create the links to another universe, a place in another universe, and you can only have one descriptive book per universe or the universe becomes unstable. and then they create as many linking books as they want to connect to the descriptive book. So that way they can take a personal copy of a linking book and they can teleport to the same destination. But if the descriptive book is destroyed, then so are all the linking books that are connected to that descriptive book. And you can only have, as I said, one descriptive book. So once you link, you're literally linking to another part, another universe, another point in the universe. But you can't link to the same universe. So I couldn't link from Earth to Earth or to the Moon because it's in the same solar system. So every time I use a linking book, I'm traveling to another universe. Just keep that in mind. So this is what is known as the imager. We're in the 4 chamber. So we're just going to click it now, and basically it shows a turbulent pull, which is very unimpressive. Now this is how you program the imager. So what we're going to do, you can see there's 3 programs that you can do. So that was already the turbulent pull. Now we're going to, let's just say you have no idea what a marker switch is. So the game caters for complete dum-dums by showing you exactly what a marker switch is. But I find it very strange, as why would you put a message of the utmost importance laying on the ground with a code which is really not that important anyway. I think that was the other code. Now in the 1993 version, the original version, this was actually in it, and it was just a image of an ice-capped mountain which had no bearing in the game whatsoever. But in the Real Myst version, released in 2000, it suddenly became an integral plot of the game, as we will see later on. So if you've gone around counting all the markers, you should actually come up with the number 8. So without any more to do, let's listen to the message of utmost importance.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine is one of our sons. I suspect Agon, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return, but if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
Okay, so he says you can delete the message. Apparently you can delete it using this thing somehow, but I've never been able to work it out, and it has no bearing on the game anyway, so I'm just going to ignore it. So as we said, Atlas has literally created hundreds of linking books which can take you to other universes, but at some point he finds that most of them have all been burnt. Now this is the tower that we need to rotate, as he says. So, and he suspects that it's one of his 2 sons. So what he's done, since not all the books have been burnt, he's placed the remaining books in what is known as the places of protection, which is basically you have to solve a puzzle in order to gain access to that linking book, and we'll go into detail about that soon. So this is the bookcase he's referring to, and as you can see, they're all these linking books are completely burnt. There's a couple of descriptive books here that aren't, but also this is a very important part. So you have a star pattern here and the symbol that corresponds to that star pattern. That becomes important a bit later on. Now the secret of the rotation, so as you can see, tower rotation, and you can see all these things lit up, but if you remember, there was something over here and I couldn't get to the marker switch to turn it on, and it's not showing up on the map. So by me going around and turning all the marker switches on, I've actually highlighted them on the map, so now I can rotate the tower to the point that I want, and that being here, which is the ship. So now what we're going to do is go deeper inside the tower. So we close that door, which lowers that, and it also drops the bookcase, lowering, revealing a secret passage. But before we do that, how about we say hello to the suns? So if I click on the book here, you'll see there's nothing but static and I can't see anything. So if I drop one of the blue pages in,
Monsieur? Are you? See you. Can help me? Bring blue pages. Never. Pages. I must have the blue page. Bring them to me.
Okay, so if that looked familiar to Atris, it's because it's played by the same character, Rand Miller, who is one of the developers of the game. Now, I'll just describe what a trap book is. So, basically, the people that have the art of being able to create linking books can create what is known as a trap book, and that is that all the algorithms used to create the link aren't necessarily there. Some of them are faulty. So even though a destination will appear on the linking panel, if one was to touch the linking panel, then one would teleport but not quite get to the destination and be trapped in what is known as the void. And this is what is known as a trap book, and that is what's happened to Akinar here, one of Atris's sons. So how about we go on to the other side now to say hello to the other sun. So as you can see again, nothing but static, and if we drop in the red page,
Why? Bring me a red page. I can't see it. I need a red page, you must. Bring. Shh. I am serious. Give it up. There is one thing I need to rescue.
and that was Cirrus, and that's played by Robin Miller, one of the other developers of the game, and also the composer to all the beautiful music. And so that's both of the sons. And the biggest mystery is who ripped out all the pages and where did they come from. And it was part of the trap book. See, the trap has nothing to do with the ripped pages, but the pages have a part to do with the trap, in the fact of both books were designed so that equal amount of pages could be ripped out of them. And that's because once you've trapped someone, you would want to rip the pages out so that no one else could transfer their position with yours, because if someone was to put their hand on it, then they would automatically transfer positions and get trapped in there. And so this is why the pages were ripped out, and one was left near the book so you could easily just place it inside and see that the person that you had trapped was still in fact there. So now what we do, once we come out of the elevator, we come up here and we've rotated the tower to where the next linking book is. So we can see the linking book is here. So to know how to get there, we come down and we go over to the other side and we'll find the key on how to get to the linking book. And we have 3 dates here that you would need to write down. I'm not going to bother. Now it's also important to note the actual official date of when all this has happened. So the books got burnt according to the Myst timeline on December the 12th, 1806. So this means that you've come here not long after that. And as I said, the book continued to fall through the star fissure until it reached the planet Earth. To be more specific, you find out on Uru Online that it ends up at a crater known as the Cleft in Eddy County, New Mexico. And if you ever have a look at the site, it's really is fitting for an archaeologist. So there's rumours that you're really an archaeologist. So, some state a photographer or a historian. Either way, we know you speak and understand English, but you're not Catherine, okay? You're most likely male, as one of the sons revealed later on. So this image on the observatory is actually a Dunny currency. So we'll talk more about Dunny a bit later on. So this looks like a dentist chair, but it's actually an observatory. And we're going to turn off the lights and hop in. So basically you would put in those dates at one of those dates, and you would just get the corresponding pattern according to those dates that we found in the tower. And then what you would do is you'd go into the library and you would find the corresponding symbol to that star pattern. But when I first played this game back in 1993, I did none of that. I actually just came here and went, oh look, pretty patterns. Oh wow, maple leaf. And I clicked the maple leaf, and then I walked straight over here and clicked the beetle, and then I clicked the snake, and it raises this as well as raises the ship in the background. So I literally fluked the whole thing in about 3 minutes and spared myself literally hours of frustration just by fluking it. So now we come down here onto the Stone Age. What a lot of people don't know, you can actually climb the mast and get a bit of a panoramic view of Myst Island in total. And as you can see, there's birds, and actually there's butterflies and fish on Myst Island. But we're going to go to the next universe, the next linking age, which is called the Stone Ship Age. And in the original 1993 version, it was actually quite a clear and beautiful blue sky, but in this version they've really darkened it, and if you know the story behind it, you'll understand why. So let us go there.